Willkommen aus in Bed mit Miretto ein Jahr 2024. Sorry, the old spy training kicking in there. But you can see I've got like a perfect German accent. Whilst I've got a cigarette in my mouth, obviously. Let's get something clear. You didn't come back here to become some sort of Patreon prick. So, but this backache is not going away. And this is the only chair where it doesn't get worse. I feel like chucking out all my furniture and getting new furniture. You know, armchairs, sofas, mattresses, all that kind of good stuff. Poor Chocky, he said to me, why can't I sit on your lap anymore? Which is funny, because that's exactly what Avril Lavigne said to me yesterday. But that's a story for another time. So, yeah, where were we? So we done like the movie games. I did have a think about, should I clean up this ZX buttfucks little list here? Actually, I just remembered there's another game. Now, the only real rival to Commodore 64 when I was given one by Jack Tramiel, for free, obviously, because I designed the SID chip. So he gave me the serial number on the one I've got is actually 2. So I think Leonard Tramiel got the other one. Now obviously it's his son, he's not going to give me that one. I think it was valued at Sotheby's for I think it was £65,317 they estimate. But it's got sentimental value, so I don't really use that machine. But you know, these old injuries from spy missions really get on my tits, I have to say. No, we're not talking about Avril Lavigne again. Now, another early game, which was sort of like Buck Rogers, which we have done, was Quasar by Big G Software. I believe Quasar's the one, but because there's another one called Megahawk. I can't remember who makes it. I think that's Voyager Software. So I don't know where I'm going to find hang on, I have to concentrate here a little bit. It's low light conditions. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to find a Big G directory. But yeah, you know. Now thinking back to when Jack Tramiel passed away, there was hardly any coverage. There was nothing on the actual TV news, not 1 second. They put all sorts of meaningless rubbish on the news for the millennials. Absolutely useless. And, you know, the greatest computer company, well, businessman. Doesn't have to be the owner, CEO, CFO. But you know what I mean. And no, Big G is not here, so we got a problem now. Are we on the alphabetical sort? No, just in case, because I don't think I did Big G early on. There wasn't much incentive, but no, Big G's not there. So again, no. So yeah, like I said, you know, that was an early game, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to find that actually. The thing is, I have actually, I'm sure I've played Quasar. Not on an emulator, please. So yeah, I mean, speaking of emulators, I mean, there's going to be a lot of upset people with the amount of videos I've had lately recorded. I don't think I'm going to subject YouTube to them all. But, you know, luckily I'm such a consummate TV and movie producer that it's not really going to affect the quality of these fantastic shows that I'm doing right now. Now, no one has ever done this. No one has ever thought, oh, I wonder if I could make something like a real TV show, but where you would have to have actors and filming locations or sets, movie sets, TV sets. You replace that with, you know, AI tools to make up those segments. I don't think anyone has done that, so we are on the cutting edge of what is possible with YouTube, and because of that, it's taking a long time. But you know, doesn't mean people stop coming round to see me play these games in my living room and tell you all the you know, fantastic things that you didn't know from the past. Whether you believe them or not is up to you. So I'm trying to think what I should actually yeah, so you know, these are the 1983 years, and I thought that was correct, because you know, as you well know, the C64 was only on sale to even MI6 employees like me in the UK for about 6 weeks. Now, I didn't buy one then because I was actually, now which country was I in? I think I was in Outer Mongolia, infiltrating a potential terrorist threat there. Yeah, I know, I didn't believe that was possible. You're telling me people that wear bits of animal leather on their feet are going to be... Yeah, anyway, can't say too much. Official Secrets Act. But yeah, you know, the first full year, if you did get yourself a Commodore 64, as soon as you come back from your secret spy mission in January 1983, it wouldn't have been so bad. Wouldn't have been so bad at all. But like I said, the only real rival to the old Commodore 64 back then was the Atari. Unless you got no taste, or you're a spastic. Now, you could get an Atari 800, I think it was with 16K RAM, just a little bit more than the Commodore 64 at that time. Certainly that wouldn't have swayed me, but yeah, I think it was about that, and no, there was no way I was going to be using the Atari 400 because, you know, I'm an expert programmer. How can I write expert games? And that was a correct decision. As we've seen, I've written quite a few games, and you know, interesting history, being pestered all the time, especially with Turbo 64. That was a nightmare with Cliff Richard. Ooh, he's so annoying, that Cliff Richard. If only some bird that he remotely fancied would fuck him, I think it would have solved all his personality disorders in one go. Annoying people usually are virgins, so I don't know what's going on with the Patreon pricks, because they're highly annoying, and yet I know at least 3 of them have got wives. So, is it one of those Cliff Richard style marriages going on? Are they foster kids that they're taking to the football match on Saturday morning? Who knows, mate? And who cares? That's the real question you should be asking, not me. But it is an interesting thing. Smoking my very expensive imported French cigarettes here. They are definitely not roll-ups, so... Now, there was one game on the Atari which was phenomenal. And it was a system seller, actually. And it was there from pretty much day one. Now, I'm not sure that by Christmas 1982 there was actually a game that you would say, I have to have this Commodore 64. I'm not sure. Because it's very difficult to remember the exact days that these things came out. Yeah, it's the nanobots, the Russian nanobots. They fucked me up a bit, really. But we're here to serve king and country, or queen and country, as it was then. So I'm looking for a particular game. And it's not in this one, I don't think. Well, it could be, because everything's recorded in all sorts of funny orders. So yeah, it's not in this one. And it is actually a conversion of an arcade game that you've never heard of by Exody. And that's really the problem. The rival to Star Raiders on the Atari, which was pretty much a launch title. You could definitely get one in 1980 with Star Raiders. But Nolan rang me up and he's like, oh, we're having real problems getting these Atari home computers finished. He said, I think we're going to run over schedule. And I said to him, Nolan, if you just want it to be known as a 1979 computer and therefore take the crown of the best computer of the 1970s, I said to him, just make 20,000, even if you've got a high failure rate there going on with your old buddies at Moss Technology, which was funny. Moss Technology used to duplicate the ROMs for the Atari 2600 console. Cartridges, that was one of their suppliers. And as Jack Trammell said to me, whilst laughing his head off, he said to me, only an idiot would rely on their competition. But, and that's what Nolan did. So I believe there was like 33 Atari 800s that made it to the shops by the 31st of December 1979, and I think there was 17 Atari 400s. I think that's about the right ratio. So that's the story with that one, really. And here we go. So the game I'm talking about is called Starfire. Now, as you well know, or possibly you don't, because you weren't an arcade champion like me. Unfortunately, the 2 games I got the world record for, they don't exist in MAME, so there's no point me telling you what they are, because you can't play them. So, yeah. We'll play it as it's... Oh, no, that's your only option, really. Always with the F1 key. They love their racing, these computer programmers. So, Star Raiders is designed as a home computer game to begin with. Even though it's like a cartridge game, and most of those were arcade conversions. and it is a phenomenal game in the arcade, but it is an arcade gaming experience. So, you know, it's never going to be as complex or a long-term sort of game as Star Raiders. So, but it's not bad. And yeah, we're having a slight problem with the tuner, either on this particular Commodore 64 or the actual Sony. Now, of course, I've got 4 generations of Sony TV to you know, use with things like Commodore 64, ColecoVision. I actually have a 1970s Trinitron, 1980s Trinitron, which is where they peaked in the late 90s in terms of quality, 1990s, and one from the spastic new millennium. So, I mean, we did investigate if there is something we can do about, you know, the incredibly low IQ of the children coming out this century at MI6, and unfortunately there's nothing we can do for them. Turns out there's too many inbreeding with a scum class, and the lack of IQ is part of their DNA. It's a genetic problem. We're stuck with them. So yeah, we couldn't really do it. I mean, we tried to pin it on the Chinese, but I think Chinese have got just as much of a millennial problem as we have. Mind you, having said that, that doesn't really prove anything, because China is getting fucked by COVID, and yet they're the ones that accidentally released this weaponized virus that they created. Obviously, if you've got an IQ of 187 like me, you'll know that it makes no sense that, you know, this virus is going to jump from a bat straight to humans, and somehow it wouldn't affect monkeys. So, chimpanzees specifically. And yeah, that's a dead giveaway that China were working on a virus to cause a worldwide depression of the economy, and you know, basically because they have such terrible quality of hygiene in their laboratories that you know, the virus accidentally got out, and that was the end of that. Really, world fucked. I think that's when I decided I don't want to be a spy anymore. So, I mean, as far as like battle sequences go, this is actually not bad. You know, compared to Star Raiders, but it hasn't got a map or anything like that, so it is an arcade game. It's a conversion of an arcade game, and you know, so you shoot a bit, you go into a new level, same shit, different level, as we used to say back then. And well, you know, well, what can you say, mate? But it's not a bad game at all. Now, obviously, I used to play this on my Sony Trinitron, 28-inch Sony Trinitron back there in the Mayfair London townhouse there. The old bachelor pad, as I used to call it. But I wasn't a virgin like Cliff Richard, no. We had loads of people coming around. We had the old generation of classy actresses like Lee Remick coming around all the time. Lindsay Wagner, we talked about her. And, you know, I got footage to prove all of these things, obviously. So they did happen. Yeah, there has to be a little bit of a watermark on the videos, but that's just a video editor I use, you know. That's not an AI tool for making video. No, it just happens to be the same name. Yeah, so, you know. But a lot of people did get hooked on Star Raiders because there was more to it, really. There was more to the game. It's quite a... Yeah. So this is really the kind of thing that would happen. I mean, you'd get one game on one system, and so we're actually on level 2. So the fuel is going down, and I don't know. I can't really remember how you refuel. Nah, overheating lasers was a big problem we had, actually. No, we didn't get any fuel for that, so I'm not really sure how you get fuel, so yeah, I mean, and there you go. Now, I wanted to get that game in there because, like I said, you know, you did have options back then. It's not like today. You go to the computer shop and the 2 worst computers of the 80s somehow are the only 2 options I can buy. And my IQ isn't low enough to have a smartphone. You have to have an IQ of about 15 to really enjoy a smartphone and actually think you're living in the future. Which is ironic, really, because, you know, the old flip phones were a bit like, you know, the old Star Trek communicators. I can see why people had a thing for those, because, you know, you're talking about the late 90s and people who watched Star Trek whilst eating their, I think they were called Dale steaks. There were these things, they're basically posh beef burgers for the working class family. And before you say anything, I don't have any problem with working class people. None at all. I may be a man of breeding, but I am a working class man. The trouble is people get confused between scum class and, you know, working class. There's a massive difference. For a start, scum class don't work. They live off fucking God knows what kind of benefits they throw at them these days. So they obviously get far too much money because most of them have like 4 or 5 fucking kids. That was another thing we used to have to talk about in the old MI6 coffee room. God, the coffee was terrible at MI6. I'm glad I left, actually. Let's see if there's anything else that urgently needs to be played. I have actually played quite a lot. I did want to play Quasar. Let's see if we can find Quasar. So, I'm wondering if I should have like a few, you know, ropey clips, you know, 360p over compressed YouTube kind of quality. Not because I'm actually finding them from like old TV shows that have been uploaded from VHS transfers to YouTube. No, these are my own files. I don't bullshit, mate. No. You can't be a bullshitter if you're a spy. Although you have to be a professional liar if you don't want to get killed or end up in interrogation or something like that. There we go. So I'm trying to think where Quasar would be now. Got all excited there. Thought it was one of those got to be Big G, but no. But anyway, nah, there's Big A, to Z and big C and whatever, but there's no big G, mate. And the only other thing it could be is in something with Xylogon. So yes, we might have to call it quits on this one. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go out on the street, and because obviously I'm so famous, and you know, everyone watches my videos, although they watch them with a VPN from like a special website, because they're very shy. You know, the 2 million subscribers that I've got, they don't want to be known. They don't publicly subscribe, and yeah, so that's the reason why, you know, it looks like I've only got like 30 views on these videos or whatever. It's just nah, mate. It's not because the channel's dead or anything like that. No. So now I believe there was in one of these there was actually sort of like an A to Z thing where I had sorted things out, and is it possibly for so we'll do K to Cute, KT the Cutie. I don't know any KTs. Oh, that Katie Sackhoff is annoying, man, flicking her fag ash on my shag parka. It's so rude. I'm a genius. We're going to get to play Quasar. There's a few games in here actually, but it doesn't matter because I don't have a reset switch on this machine. Yeah, I lent my reset cartridge to Shiraz Shivji. He never gave it back to me. I was like, I ain't lending you nothing, Shiraz, mate. Stop it. Don't tell me you gave it back to me, because if you'd given it back to me, I'd be using it. I think he sold it on eBay, you know. He was having a bit of a tough time paying the mortgage that month. I don't know. Shame. Got the manual for it, but obviously that's a bit useless. Thank you. Right, F5 for a normal game. So guys, early game. Interesting colour choices. The colours brown and green together don't really go with the idea of, you know, the future and space travel. Green and brown is more like, oh shit, I need to get my baby to the hospital. After puking up for like 2 hours from the smell. But anyway. It's just like Super Stardust. Wow, you don't even get any kind of invincibility. Yeah, Val Franco is another arsehole. I didn't like Val Franco. He was like, doesn't matter if I can't write games and they're all shit. He said, I'm going to make money. And he promptly went on to write Xylogon, one of the worst games on the Commodore 64 ever. In fact, if Norris McGuirter didn't hate me, he would have put it would have been in the Guinness Book of World Records as the worst Commodore 64 game of all time. Plus, you know, Val Franco used to get the spaghetti sauce all over the bloody carpet, so... But this one wasn't too bad. There are much worse games than this. I mean, this is closer to the arcade version than the actual official version by Sega for the Commodore 64. So there's no trench on the Commodore 64. Ah, come on, I shot him. Come on, mate. So, yeah, you know, like I said, Val Franco, spaghetti sauce everywhere, and you can't invite him. Not when you got white shag pile carpets, mate. I mean, Lindsay Wagner used to come round and point at these red stains and say, "You on your period, Bobbos?" and laugh her head off. She was such a happy woman, that Lindsay Wagner, beautiful soul. Obviously, she was bionic, but she never lost her humanity, even with all those superhero bionic upgrades she had. What, you thought that wasn't real? Nah, of course, mate. Of course, that's why they made the Bionic Man and the Bionic Woman TV series. In fact, I knew Lee Majors and Lindsay Wagner, and it was me that went to Universal and said, "Look, why don't you make a TV show? I mean, you're not going to have to spend anything on the special effects. I know how cheap you guys at Universal are. You know, you greedy bastards." And, yeah, you know. So that's what happened with that one. Now, you may know of an Atari 2600 game called Pac-Man. If you're as cultured as me, you'll also know that it is also called Dobusco. Yes, Atari had a huge market share in a certain country, a certain very large country actually. So did Commodore. And there would be Atari cartridges where, you know, Pac-Man doesn't make no sense. They're kind of isolated from the arcade industry, but somehow, with my help and my linguistic skills, I put together a package for, you know, Warner Brothers. I wish I hadn't. Ray Kassar is such an arsehole. I did not like Ray Kassar. Ray Kassar and Irving Gould, they're soulmates. They deserve to basically fuck each other in the arse, get AIDS and drop dead as soon as possible. And then maybe Nolan and Jack wouldn't have suffered at their excessively lucky. Yeah, anyway. But yeah, you do know of a game called Pac-Man, right? And I thought it'd be nice if we play both Pac-Man, the Atari soft release, so I might as well go in here, for the C64. But I was one of those people, you know, Todd Fry, yeah, he got a lot of flack for that Atari game, but I was there. I was sitting in the boardroom, sipping on the single malt whiskey there with, you know, with some of the execs there, and Todd Fry, he come bursting into the room and he said, "Look, this ain't gonna work with this 2 kilobyte ROM that you're giving me." He said, "Now if you give me a bit more, like a 4 kilobyte or an 8 kilobyte cartridge," he said, "I can write a much better sprite multiplexing machine and it won't be like Flicker City." And Ray Kassar said, 2 kilobytes, get out. I told you, Ray Kassar, fucking cunt. It's a shame he wasn't a Russian spy. I could have dealt with him. But yeah, anyway, always with the F1. But anyway, this is the C64 version, and nothing wrong with it apart from the fact that it's Pac-Man. Very noisy game. That's why children love it. And yeah, see, the problem with Pac-Man is it's quite a boring game. Plus, of course, you You know, the original designer of Pac-Man got absolutely fuck all in royalties for one of the most successful games ever designed. I see the fire button, it pauses the game. That's a mistake, that is. Fire button should do nothing. What? If I want a pause button, it's called the space bar on my computer, mate. Well, why do I need... I've soured to this game already, sir. And, yeah... But, you know, I mean... see, that green one there, he's analysing where I'm going. And I think for the sake of safety, we have to really sort this bit out here. So yeah, that's really my problem with Pac-Man. It's really for the girls, isn't it? Now we're in trouble, isn't it? That was a mistake by me. Bit like when I left the SR-71 Blackbird in reverse and the next pilot come along and well, he should have checked, he should have made sure it wasn't in reverse. It's not my fault he reversed into the bloody Pentagon, is it? But you didn't hear about that. They set up these mirrors and they kind of reflected like over the big gaping hole with the two adjacent sections, so it's very complicated. I could explain how it happened, but yeah, that did happen. I'm not a bullshitter, mate. So, I mean, the problem with this game is that it was £30. So it cost 3.5 times the price. So how's your average, you know, salt of the earth working class man supposed to, you know, fund their kids' gaming addiction at that sort of price? And that's exactly why the VCS tapered off, because the games were too expensive. That and the fact that, you know, Star Battle and Jelly Monsters on the, you know, the very successful VIC-20 there were better than Galaxian and Pac-Man on the VCS respectively. And they cost less. Those cartridges were, they were half the price of the Atari cartridges, so... But what are you going to do, eh? No, this is a problem now. Right, okay. So, you know, so that was that, and don't really know actually. Like I said, these old spy mission injuries, should have negotiated a better health plan, I think. I'm going to have to finance some sort of start-up to build me a robot. Look after me in my old age, innit? What? Yeah, I don't know, mate. So, yeah. Now, another one that Atari did was Donkey Kong, obviously. Galaxians is terrible, but I know for a fact that they made Galaxians on the Commodore 64 rubbish on purpose. In fact, most of their games were rubbish. But, yeah, Donkey Kong and Pole Position. Now, Pole Position may have come out in January 1984, because I was playing it on the Commodore 64 in February. End of February 1984. But it could have come out just as equally for the Christmas market. So, but yeah, I mean, Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong was one of those things. Your computer needed a good version of Donkey Kong. And obviously no such thing has ever existed for the Spectrum. So whilst in 1986, if a little bit too late for anyone to give a shit about, you know, the Commodore and the Amstrad computers got a fantastic port of Donkey Kong. and they're pretty much identical. Now, of course, some people with a very low IQ, the clueless morons, are going to say, but the Amstrad version is more colourful, which is why you have a colour setting on your TV connected to your Commodore 64. And then you should suffix that with, you fucking idiot, like that. Like I said, you've got to blend in with a scum class. We're stuck with him. God damn it. So, yeah. I'm not sure what the difficulty is at the moment. I can't see. Let's have a look. Yeah, I haven't been up to, Hyde Park to get my gold-plated, tinted reading glasses sorted out. This could be joystick problem. Now, the problem with this game is the person who wrote it doesn't like Donkey Kong, which I think is a bit of a dumb idea. If someone hates an arcade game, you shouldn't get them to write it. And he obviously thought, well, as long as I make it the same as the Coleco version, then everyone would be happy. Well, no, sir. The Commodore 64 is actually better than the Coleco version. That's the problem. And that happens because you can't actually... I can't remember if that was a thing in the arcade. 1981, that was a long time ago. And a lot of things have changed in the world. Yeah, the controls getting off the ladder, they're not really what you want, see? That's why this game is written by someone who doesn't actually like the arcade game, let alone play it. So... And I think there's one level missing. I think Kong should be up on the top right hand corner there. So, and because Donkey Kong was a packing game for the ColecoVision, I suspect this didn't really sell that well, because if you can afford a Commodore 64, you probably had a ColecoVision as well. I certainly did. I don't know what it was like in your country, but for me that wasn't really a problem. So. It's really getting up and down the ladders that's a problem. So, plus there's one level missing. For some reason, every home version before the Ocean disc and tape conversions doesn't have the Pie Factory, which is probably a good thing, because basically every time your blood sugar goes up, you're cooking yourself, and there is no technology, not even in the high IQ scientific circles that I mix in, which you obviously don't know about, to uncook meat. Once meat is cooked, it's cooked. So, that's just how it is. At the end of the day, it's all about cookery. Oh, I used to know Delia Smith, and she kept going on about boiled eggs for some reason. I'm like, Delia, we're not having boiled eggs today. It's a Sunday. You can't have boiled eggs as a Sunday lunch. She wouldn't have none of it, though. She insisted. So, I mean, there are things about this game that could be worse, I guess. But, we're having a bit of a problem here, because I want them to come down the level, because I can't actually do anything until I get up on that level. So you can't jump these, I don't think. If you can, it's very difficult because they're larger than the barrels. And the hammer's there, but the hammer don't do nothing. Oh, it does do something. So why didn't it do something before then? I'm trying to get up the ladder. Oh, I can't go up the ladder. Oh, this is a bad idea, isn't it? Yeah, I did come like third in the Donkey Kong World Championships of 1981, but unfortunately there was some problem when they recorded those, and you can't actually see that. But yeah, I'm not a bullshitter, mate, and that is what happened. I don't remember two barrels. So the other thing I don't like about this game is they've gone with the original way in which the levels sort of work out. So you do the first level, and then you do the last level, and then you got to do the first level again, and then you'll get to the elevator level because there's no Pie Factory level, as I said. So ooh, that's no good. See, they can actually come down from there. So he's up there, and that's a bit of a problem. Oh, he does come back down. All right, I was going to say, because I tried jumping that bastard, and it wasn't going to have. Ah, no! Go away! God damn it. Yes. He's going to keep looping round there, isn't he? So we go over here. And now we go over here. So I knew that was going to happen. Don't worry, mate. Because the elevator section is my favourite level. So it is annoying that is a thing. So I mean, I suppose if you look at it from the point of view that this game cost 30 quid and the ColecoVision was 150, it is cheaper to buy the standard ColecoVision, and you don't have to use those pathetic joysticks. I did tell CBS, look mate, these are not joysticks. I don't know what you think a joystick is, but definitely that is a problem there. And well, what can you do, mate? They didn't want to listen. So he's going up there, so we go down here, and I mean, it's not that it's a bad conversion or anything. It's okay. But you see, the problem is now this geezer is not going to go up a level, so how can I jump there? I'm stuck here. It's not a Cinemaware game where there's multiple options, although in reality you're probably going to get fucked in It Came From the Desert, whatever you do, mate. Ooh. So in the arcade it's like this, and nah, see, that's where, you know, really, if the programmer had ever played the arcade game to death and was an expert at it, that's really what you want. Now, I didn't personally invest in that Atari cartridge, possibly because of what Ray Kassar and you know, the others did to Nolan Bushnell. I was very angry about that for many years, as you can imagine, and I decided to help my good friends Anil and Roger by purchasing one of their Kong rip-offs at Anirog. So, yes. There's no point playing the Ocean software version back then because 5 years had passed, no one really remembered Donkey Kong that well, and it was like certainly not enough to spend £10 on a game on cassette or 15 on disc. £18, or is it £20 for the spastic 3-inch discs of the spastic Amstrad by that spastic... yeah, I never really cared for that Alan Sugar. He was like... he was a real obnoxious prick. You know, he'd say things like, we don't need a 68,000, said 80 is fine. Well, I think really you should go and play Defender of the Crown on the Atari ST, you prick, Alan Sugar, and then compare it, because I think you'll find there's a massive difference, and they have the same shit sound chip, although they're not dumb enough to have it come out of a speaker the size of a cat's arsehole. So, yeah, you know, and from that point on, we really didn't get on. If we saw each other, we just like, you go in your Rolls Royce, I'll go in my Aston Martin. Fuck off. And that was it, really. So, but like I said, when we actually get there, just make sure everything's in alphabetical order. Yeah, it's not in this one. I don't know why that happened. That shouldn't happen, although maybe because I did a sort. There we go. Now, when people say things like E.T. or Pac-Man is well, actually, let's start with Pac-Man. The worst version of Pac-Man is certainly not the VCS official port. Just about everything on the Spectrum is inferior for a start, and the Spectrum costs more than an Atari 2600. So, yeah. But there are worse games than, that are not Pac-Man games, even on something as powerful as a Commodore 64. Sprite Man comes immediately to mind. It's a horrendous game. Horrendous looking, horrendous sounding, horrendous controls. And, I did press space. Now, if this isn't the Anirog Kong, yes it is, so here we go. Now, I didn't write this game, but the programmer of this game, he, we were talking at the bar, back in the day when you used to get free peanuts on the bar, now you just get free nut jobs in the bar. And, it is joystick port 1. And he said to me, I don't know what to do about this Mario character. Is there something wrong with the joystick? This isn't working properly. Don't tell me it's a joystick port 2 game. It is a joystick. So why does joystick port 1 work then? I was pushing left and it was going left. That's a bit silly. But yeah, no, we were having a beer. Nice high quality Belgian beer there. And he was telling me, I've finished this game, but Roger said to me, we can't release it with a sprite that looks like Mario. He said we couldn't afford the lawsuit, just in case. So, yeah, they had to run that company on a bit of a shoestring budget back then. It's not like that prick from US Gold who got lucky and, sent a few begging letters to some American companies by fax. And, got all these fantastic games for like, $1 per game. He was charging £1 more than everybody else, at least. US Gold were the only ones selling cassette games for, £9.95. But anyway, I digress, as you know I do. And I said to him, well, did you see that cartoon that was on last night? The satanic cartoon that was on ITV last night at midnight? I was like, yeah, actually I did. I was like, you remember the character there? He said, no. I said, alright. I said, look, I'll let you borrow the videotape, and because obviously I had 4 video recorders, and I used to record everything. I used to pay someone to record everything on every channel, and we had a spare video recorder, so we had ITV, BBC One and BBC Two being recorded 24 hours a day, and we had a huge room just for all the tapes, basically. And basically it was like Sky Plus TiVo before they even thought the idea. I told you I got a genius IQ. And so I said to him, why don't you base a character on that? It's like, oh, you know what? That'd be just, that works for me, he said, because he's got a big nose, which is important. And we have to jump quite early on this game for some reason. Don't ask me why. I didn't quite work that out yet. Ooh, We have to get up there. Ah, no. I was pushing up to go up, not left. Yeah, we're going to do a level. Right. So that's the story of how, basically this weird cartoon character of this creature. I really can't remember the cartoon anymore, but basically they're in hell, and that's one of the demons. Or he's one of the demons who... it might be something to do with Faust. I'm not sure. Actually, like I said, it's been such a long time. Oof. This game is annoying because you got to jump so early. It's not intuitive. Now, obviously, I didn't have time to play test the game because I had to go off on another mission. See, I used to be on mission 8 weeks at a time, and then I'd have 2 weeks off. So I did end up playing a lot of games. Because, what are you going to do? There's only so many times you can have sex with a bird in one day. It's about 15. And then after that, you just, it's just too much, mate. Woo. So I would like to do at least one level, We're kind of getting stuck on this one now. Yeah, I don't know. You just have to get it in your mind that you got to jump earlier than you think is correct. And you'll be okay. See, that was way too late. You think it's not, but that was way too late. That really was, so... And, yeah, see? See how far away you have to jump? It's a bit like the A-Team, really, when they go flying after, like, one punch and there's someone with a trampoline back there and... Jump early, you asshole. So as you can see, this is the correct way that the game should be played. You go from level 1 to level 2. You don't go from level 1 to level 4. And it does actually have the Pie Factory level. So, there might be things about this game that you don't like, but being an incomplete conversion is certainly not one of those things you could say is a problem. There you go. So you do get the elevator section as well. So it's not like they've replaced, the elevator section with the Pie Factory. So there are slight differences though. There's like 2 sets of ladders here, and why aren't the things coming up? Like I said, they took a long time to... What the hell's going on there? So he's over there now, so... Oof. Like I said, I had to bugger off to like Alaska for some sort of weird mission. Something to do with the guns of Navarone or something, and that was where the the military transport was waiting for me. So see, he's always there. That's annoying. It's a timing thing. See. See, that's very difficult to judge. So we're going to end up losing all our lives. But we've done 3 levels, so mission objective received. And, okay, mission objective was not to go flying through the air and miss the platform. But, hey, what can you do, mate? What can you do? Now, sometimes these platforms are a bit British Leyland and they just don't do their job, innit? See, now you're fucked. Nothing you can really do. He decided to come up there. So, so that's really what it was like. And thanks for coming round again. Just give me a bit more notice next time. And maybe we sort something else out.